In the NBA, there is no questioning that the Western Conference is superior to the East. Just ask LeBron James. But in the NFL, there is really no clear-cut answer as to which is the better conference. Both the AFC and NFC feature some great teams with elite players. However, we do know that a number of AFC teams should feel very fortunate about where they are. That's because they wouldn't be as good if they found themselves in the NFC instead. I'm Justin Fraction, and today we dive into 5 AFC teams that would be worse in the NFC. And a huge shout out to MDJ13 for suggesting this list. If you have any ideas for cool lists, let us know down below, and you never know, we might do them and give you a shout out. Number 5, Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers have been tough to stop for a long time. They have a star in Ben Roethlisberger, the game's best wide receiver in Antonio Brown, and the game's best all-around running back in Le'Veon Bell. And to be honest, most teams in the AFC can't come close to stopping that trio. Probably only the Denver Broncos and New England Patriots, actually. But in the NFC, Brown would have to deal with top-notch corners like Richard Sherman, who shut him down in their 2015 meeting. Brown would also have to deal with Patrick Peterson, scary stuff, and even Josh Norman of the Washington Redskins. And Bell would be facing stellar defensive lines like that of Seattle, St. Louis's, and Minnesota's. Not saying Pittsburgh would be terrible, but the division race wouldn't be a cakewalk for them. Number 4, Indianapolis Colts. Even when the Colts were good in the early years of the Andrew Luck era, they still struggled against the NFC. Remember in 2013 when the Rams and Cardinals whipped their butts with a terrific pass rush? 2014 was quite embarrassing as the Cowboys ran right through them and the Eagles passed all over Indy. The Colts are a one-man team in luck. It'd be so easy for the NFC's top running backs to run over their awful defense. And that awful Colts secondary would be dealing with Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, and Matt Ryan all the time. Dare we throw in Russell Wilson and Dak Prescott too? Yikes, be happier in the AFC, Indy. Number 3, New England Patriots. The AFC East features 3 pretty awful organizations in the Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins, and New York Jets. Then there are the New England Patriots, who become the model and golden NFL franchise during the 21st century. Thing is, Tom Brady's only threat in the AFC ever really was Peyton Manning, who's now retired. The Baltimore Ravens gave him some issues, sure, but he's owned his division, as well as the entire AFC South, AFC North, and most of the AFC West. But the NFC would be far from easy for Bill Belichick's crew, where parity actually exists. We've seen the Seahawks Legion of Boom shut down Brady twice. We know Aaron Rodgers would win some shootouts with Brady. And hey, aren't Eli Manning and the New York Giants Brady's kryptonite? Yeah. The Patriots get a first-round bye every single year in the AFC. Such is life when Pittsburgh and Denver have been your only other consistent threats in the conference. New England would still be dominant, no doubt, but there's no way they'd be as dominant if they ever moved over to the NFC, where more good teams and better quarterbacks reside. And now it's time for the Total Pro Sports Timeout video question. What other AFC teams would be worse in the NFC? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet for more cool videos, now's a great time to do so. And back to the video. Number 2, Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals made the playoffs every year from 2011 to 15. How? Well, give Andy Dalton and AJ Green credit where it's due. But take a look at the Bengals roster and you see that they've overachieved. Consider that they were actually a wild card team in 2011, 12, and 14. And they won no more than 10 games in each of those 3 years. Thing is, the AFC North features the putrid Cleveland Browns and inconsistent Ravens. The Bengals also get to beat up on the AFC South and 75% of the AFC East like most teams do. In the NFC, just how would the Bengals have fared? Elite corners would have shut down Green. Dalton's never been elite, and he'd sure have it harder playing against elite quarterbacks. The Bengals can attribute their playoff seasons to being the AFC. And number 1, Houston Texans. Unbelievable. The Texans use at least 3 quarterbacks every year. Heck, Matt Schaub was the best quarterback in the franchise history before Deshaun Watson came along. He was a backup otherwise for most of his career, folks. The Texans won the AFC South in 2011, 12, 15, and 16. They even won 9 games in 2014, though they missed the postseason altogether. Why is that? The AFC South is pathetic. The Colts are an awful mismanaged team. The Titans were totally irrelevant for a decade. The Jaguars have only been better than the Browns this decade. Houston is like a one-man team with J.J. Watt. They just grind out ugly wins and take home the division and a playoff ticket because it's the AFC South. No division in the NFC is as pathetic as the AFC South. Actually, all 4 divisions feature at least one elite team and plenty of all-around talent. Yes, Texans fans are frustrated with their quarterback situation every year. At least they're in the AFC, which means they get to host a playoff game most years. Isn't life good for the folks in Texas? What other AFC teams will be worse than the NFC? Let us know in the comments down below. If you liked the video, then feel free to give the video a like in the like section. We'd really appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed yet, now's a great time to do so for more cool videos every single day. We'll see you next time.